4 wooden boats sit at the edge of the unknown on the Green River in Wyoming, the year 1869. And leading this expedition into America's last unmapped wilderness is a one-armed geology professor who shouldn't, by all reasonable measures, be there at all. John Wesley Powell lost his right arm to a Confederate bullet at Shiloh. While other wounded veterans retreated to quiet lives, Powell's spirit burned brighter. The missing limb wasn't a limitation. It was fuel for an obsession that would redefine what it meant to explore America. What drove this man? Powell wasn't seeking adventure alone. He was chasing something far more profound, the secret language of the earth itself. Where others saw empty wasteland, Powell saw a geological library written in stone, millions of years of history carved into canyon walls, waiting to be read. The Colorado River system was America's greatest mystery. No one knew where it went, how deep the canyons ran, or if a man could survive its rapids. Maps showed blank spaces labeled simply unknown. But Powell possessed something his era rarely celebrated: the artist's eye married to the scientist's mind. He didn't just want to conquer the river, he wanted to understand it, to feel its rhythms, and to decode its geological symphony. Just days into the journey, disaster struck. At a place they would name Disaster Falls, one of their boats, the No Name, smashed into rocks and was destroyed. A third of their food supply was gone, their instruments lost. Down to 3 boats now, and they hadn't even reached the Grand Canyon yet. But Powell pushed on. Powell wrote in his journal words that capture what they were experiencing. Listen to his voice. The Grand Canyon is a land of song. Mountains of music swell in the rivers. Hills of music billow in the creeks. And meadows of music murmur in the rills that ripple over the rocks. Altogether, it is a symphony of multitudinous melodies. We are 3/4 of a mile in the depths of the earth, and the great river shrinks into insignificance as it dashes its angry waves against the walls. We have an unknown distance yet to run, an unknown river to explore. What falls there are, we know not. What rocks beset the channel, we know not. What walls rise over the river, we know not. Week after week, they battled rapids that could kill them in seconds. Powell would strap himself to his boat with his one arm, unable to grab safety ropes, trusting his crew and his judgment. The canyon walls rose thousands of feet above them. Sunlight reached the river for only a few hours each day. The roar of water echoed off ancient stone. Their food supplies dwindled, their nerves frayed. Some of the men wanted out. Then, near the western end of the Grand Canyon, at a place called Separation Rapids, 3 of his men had enough. They'd been through weeks of brutal rapids, towering canyon walls, and dwindling supplies. They begged Powell to abandon the river, to climb out of the canyon and walk overland to civilization. The rapids ahead looked like liquid death. Powell faced an impossible choice. Logic screamed out, "Climb out. You're one-armed, nearly out of food, leading exhausted men into what might be suicide. Leave the boats and save yourselves." However, Powell looked at those towering canyon walls, his cathedral of stone, and made the choice that separated visionaries from survivors. He would continue down the river. The 3 men climbed out of the canyon and started walking. They were never heard of again. Powell and his remaining crew plunged into the white water. They made it through. What they proved was transcendent. They had successfully navigated the entire canyon system, the last great unknown of the continental United States. Powell had mapped not just a river, but revealed the geological autobiography of a continent. Here's what made Powell truly creative. He understood that exploration wasn't about conquest. It was about relationship. He learned from native tribes, studied their sustainable practices, and warned that the American West couldn't be farmed like the humid East. His ideas about water conservation were dismissed as radical, but they seem prophetic now. When Powell emerged from the Grand Canyon, he carried more than maps and geological samples. He carried a new way of seeing America, not as a territory to be dominated, but as an intricate system to be respected and understood. Other men sought to conquer that wilderness. John Wesley Powell sought to comprehend it. The difference changed everything.
you